Good morning, everybody. Good morning, Michael. You pilcher.
Good morning. Good morning.
How be you today, sir?
I am. It's Victory Monday. The offense scored 41, the team scored 41 points. How could I not be in a good mood? Yeah,
I couldn't agree with you more, my friend. Good morning, Jen on the board. She's so pumped up with the offensive win. A lot of stuff to go over today, guys. Big Victory Monday show.
Huge.
You know what? I do still have the turkey gravy, John. And I have a little bit of hair on my tongue because I paid a visit to Derpy's aunt.
Oh.
And I love pie, baby.
Oh.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the show. This is episode 652, believe it or not.
Ooh, wow.
Believe it or not, Michael.
We've made it. Every time you say it, I always say, ooh, never thought we'd make it this far.
Yeah. I still can't believe it. But here we are, guys, episode 652. And yes, it is. It's Victory Monday. Good morning, Brian. Good morning, John. Good morning, Jen. Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the show. Pittsburgh Steelers with a big win yesterday over the Cincinnati Bengals. A bigger win than most people even realize. However, we'll get to that in just a moment. Derpy had a bad weekend, guys. I'm not surprised to not see him. He's not usually here Monday. He'll be here tomorrow.
Yeah.
But it all started on Friday. It wasn't even Saturday. It was Friday when the Pitt basketball team beat Ohio State. And I say to Derpy, the Pitt Panthers win. They beat Ohio State. Derpy says, nobody cares about that. Nobody cares about college basketball. This is a college football school. All we do and all we can respect you for is if you beat us in football. You know, and he's going on. And Derpy, this is Derpy. I kid you not.
Yeah, Derpy was fired up.
And yes, Jen, exactly. Poor Derpy's aunt. And, you know, so, okay, we let it go. And then his Ohio State Buckeyes, they take the loss to the 23-point underdog at home, the Michigan Wolverines. And then Derpy just went on. He was, I'm not a Buckeye fan anymore. I hate college football. I hate everything. I hate life. Blah, 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 blah. So we all ignored him. Sunday comes around. And the game wasn't going exactly the way you wanted it to at first.
No, it was not.
Cincinnati, a pick six. And after the pick six, Derpy texts, you can't take this team serious. So Derpy, he was out of his mind. He like remember last weekend, Mike, how like every one of my teams lost and I was just in a terrible mood.
Yeah.
Derpy was like that times a million.
He was.
But anyway,
he takes his college football very seriously, and I get it. Trust me, I understand. But still, I am still going to make fun of him.
I tried backing him down off the ledge as much as I could. However, I think he's going to survive. I think he figured out the results for the picks. I haven't looked him over yet, but from what I'm seeing from text from him and posts from him, he's confident that he won. So you know what? I let him have that. I'll count him up later, see what we got, and we'll talk to him tomorrow.
Yeah,
but Derpy was he was a nightmare this weekend.
He was. It
Brian was on the
group
board.
chat was fun.
Like what you got to understand, it's a group chat that we have amongst the guys here, and we all just text, random thoughts and ideas and things like this. And Brian was in a good mood. Finch was in a good mood. Mike, myself, man, Derpy was a nightmare. After that Ohio State, once they lost that basketball game, that's when I felt his personality changed. But after that, it was the football game.
I'm sorry, I just now got cut up on the board.
So this is where we're at.
This is the first message I see as I got the board set up. I was doing some stuff on the YouTube real quick. I see Chief Hunglo. You score?
I am sore. And I do want to say good morning to you as well. Feel the steel. I did. I went up to Derpy's aunt's and got some of that pie over the weekend. It was delicious pie. Derpy's aunt has the best pie in Eastern Ohio. But I do want to get back to a couple things here, guys, before we do get started. We were talking about the games at the end of last week, fellas, and we were complaining about the, why does every game have a country music halftime show? I don't know if you guys realized or heard since, but that girl, the hot girl that Jens were talking about in the second game, um, Lainey Wilson, that's Duck Hodges' girlfriend. You remember Duck Hodges, the quarterback that played here
Yeah,
for like 6
yeah,
seconds? He wore number
yeah.
6. Lainey Wilson is literally Duck Hodges' girlfriend. I found
Huh.
that out over the weekend. So that hot chick that you've seen during the second Thursday game on Thanksgiving, that girl that was doing the halftime show is Duck Hodges' girlfriend.
Oh.
She's a famous country singer, Lainey Wilson, guys. So I don't know in case anybody cared. I sure could use one of Finch's sound effects there to carry me
I
over and
know. I know.
segue me over to the next thing. But nonetheless, guys, here we go. Pittsburgh Steelers 44. The Cincinnati Bengals 38, guys. That's right. The Pittsburgh Steelers, they beat the Bengals in a big game. This game was huge for a lot of
Huge.
reasons. Huge for a lot of reasons. And one of the main complaints that I'm hearing right off the top is, well, we let up 38 points, which is true. We did, in fact, let up 38 points. That's a fact. But when you're playing the best, this is the best quarterback we faced all year. No two ways about it. Say what you want about Lamar. Yeah, he's athletic. He could run off. But when you're talking quarterback, this was the best quarterback we faced all season. And the fact that we let up 38 and was able to manage to score 44, I think it should make you more excited than anything. Mike, you're not
Yeah.
going to face many quarterbacks much better than Joe Burrow. You're going to face teams
No.
better. I think Allen's very similar to Joe Burrow, but you know what? Allen has a better team around him. What you had was the best quarterback that we faced all season. No two ways about it. No two ways about it. And we were able to go in and do what we did. You know, the whole game I'm seeing the defense. Why can't they stop them? Blah, 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 blah. Guys, these guys score a lot of points for being a terrible team. They have like
Yeah.
like 7 games, 30 points scored where they lost. This is what this team is. They have a terrible defense. They have it's a better than average offense, but again, they have one of the best quarterbacks in the league. So I'm pretty pumped up by the way that things went yesterday, the way we handled our business, and the way that the offense was able to step it up when it became one of them games where, oh shit, these guys might be able to score a lot of points.
Yeah.
I have a lot of things to say about this, but guys, right out the cut, you can't be disappointed in this football game yesterday, Mike? Can you?
No. No, not really. Maybe JPJ and George Pickens, but outside of that,
Well, we'll
even
get to
those
them
guys
guys.
made
Yeah, I mean,
even them they made plays when called upon when we needed to make plays. So they did well. But this team, my God, they hey, can this team win in a shootout? Everyone's like, oh, if we get into a shootout against Cincinnati, against this team, we can't do it. This offense is terrible. Arthur Smith's terrible. Russell Wilson sucks. We got no receivers. They suck. They answered every critic's bell. Every critic's, condemnation of this team. The
everyone.
Steelers answered. Everyone. We hit the middle of the field. Receivers other than George Pickens were making plays. The running game was working. Najee, got sick because of that banana stuff, whatever that Pat Fryermuth's girlfriend made, caused him to cramp up. Hey, we're going to throw 84 back there, Cordell Patterson. Guess what? We're just going to keep hitting him over the middle because the Bengals can't stop him. Oh, we need an explosive run while Najee's, on the crapper. Okay, Jalen, we're going to get in there. Calvin Austin, go out there and make some key tough catches while getting your head blown off and getting a touchdown. Awesome. Van Jefferson stepping up out of nowhere again. Hell yeah, let's do this. This offense answered a lot of the critics' questions. I liked the offensive line. I thought played pretty well. they look good. Broderick Jones looked like Broderick Jones of last year. That was a damn good sight to see. Did Trey Hendrickson or whatever his name is? Did he play at all? Did he play? I don't remember seeing him out there. Dan Moore did a hell of a job shutting him down. Got big old Mount Washington helping there in the run game. Skoranek helping in the run game. This is a total team effort on the offense and the defensive side of the ball. That was nice to see. Joe Burrow, you can't. We shut him down when we needed to shut him down. They were going to put up points. Jamar Chase is going to put up points. T. Higgins is going to put up points. These are some of the best at their positions. One of the best offenses in the NFL. It's like I think Steeler Freak said, Burrow is a top 3 quarterback. Yeah, and he played like a top 3 quarterback, but you know what? The defense was able to rise to the occasion when needed, and they stopped them. We answered a lot of questions.
A couple things here to get started about our Pittsburgh Steelers, guys. The game between the Bengals and the Steelers yesterday that resulted on a 44-38 finish. The total points on that, I don't know what it is, a little over 80 points, I believe. Guys, that was the most points scored in a combination between two teams in the NFL this year.
Yeah.
So, the Pittsburgh Steelers who can't score. This is the big concern. This team can't score. They can't get in the end zone. Again, don't get me wrong. The Bengals defense was nothing to write home about. However, everybody got to play all the same games. Guess what? We beat the Bengals a lot more convincingly than the Baltimore Ravens did either time they played them. Just want to throw that out there. A couple other things in this game, guys. Let's see. What do I got here? Russell Wilson, his 257 yards in the first half was the most yards in the first half of any game he's ever played in the NFL. Any game. Is this guy over the hill? Is he maybe past his prime? Is what a lot of the speculation around the country. You guys ain't going to do nothing with Russell Wilson back there. But again, 257 yards passing in the first half of this was the most in the first half of any game in his whole entire Hall of Fame career to this point. And also, I thought I had something else here that I wanted to go in that direction with. Oh, and then Alex Highsmith, of course. We can't wait to see Alex Highsmith back, hopefully next week. This is something interesting, Mike. We did improve a little bit yesterday, but going into yesterday's game, in games that Highsmith played, the Steelers were 6-0. In games where he did not play, the Steelers were 2-3, I think it was what it was. They win yesterday to even it out at 3-3 with no Highsmith, 6-0 with Highsmith. We're getting healthy at the right time. Guys are starting to come along. Guys are starting to play mid-season form. Also, Mike, you mentioned Broderick Jones. This is about the point of the season where he picked up his game last year. Here we are going down the stretch. Broderick Jones pulling it together. A lot of things on this team is starting to happen at the right time. And you know what? It's got to be because these next 5 games on the schedule for the Steelers, this is not going to be an easy 5 weeks. However, we're in a damn good position. You know what? There's wiggle room now. Now we have, a couple games over Baltimore with the head-to-head. They're off this week. We have a chance to gain a half a game on them at least while they sit at home. If we could beat the Browns, then we gain a half game on the Ravens there as well. So a lot of things happening in our favor, guys. A lot of speculation. On the other hand, is can this team get the number 1 seed? I think that's a little bit of a pressure right now because you're going to need both of those teams ahead of us to lose 2 games. Mind you, both of those teams. Not only Kansas City, who has 1 loss, but also Buffalo, because we ended up losing that AFC game last week against the Browns, and that evened up the tiebreaker there where we had it because we only had the 1 AFC loss prior to. So we're going to need a little help to get that number 1 seed. Nonetheless, guys, victory Monday, Mike, 44-38. The Steelers improved to 9-3. Bengals dropped to 4-8. They play the Cleveland Browns at home on Sunday in a rematch, a revenge game, 1:00. I think this game goes our direction. Again, that game up in Cleveland was ugly enough for a bad team to win in an ugly style game. Again, we are that team for the most part. We just recently became a team that resembles a football team over the past, 18 months. Mike, they won the way that we had to win when we wasn't playing well. I think we win this game at home against the Browns and improve from 10-3.
I agree too. I don't care that they were off this week, have that extra week to prepare. We're not coming out of a Baltimore game where we're
they play tonight. They have a short week, Mike. They play the
Broncos. The Browns play tonight? I thought they were off.
Yeah. No, so I like this. They get a short week as well. That's, it plays in our favor.
Oh, okay.
So the Broncos, Browns at Broncos tonight, 8:15.
Oh, 12. I don't know why I thought they were off. I read the schedule wrong. My apologies. Well, yeah, that's going to be. I am being stupid. We'll be coming into this game relatively healthy. I think the only injury we have is unfortunately Calvin Austin. Hopefully, he does not have a concussion. Hopefully, he's not in the protocol. We'll have him available because, like someone said, like Steeler Freak said, Wilson is waking up Calvin Austin. The way that strike in the end zone that he threw, my God, that was just. It felt like the play from the Cleveland game. Like you couldn't. No one was able to guard him. It was
almost identical.
Yeah, I like it.
Also, Mike, go ahead. Sorry.
I was going to say, like Corey said on the board, we're 1-3 against teams below 500. That's my hang up. Yeah, that's a little worrisome, but I think the Browns is the only one coming up that's a losing record. We did just beat the Bengals too at a losing record, so hopefully we're flipping the script on that one. I think we're getting hot at the right time. This time of the year, we got that bad loss out of our system. we regrouped against the Bengals, and my God, you know this team's going to be jacked up and ready to go to you know, get some revenge against the Browns after what happened and the way the Browns acted like they won a Super Bowl against us. So we'll be ready to go.
Good morning to Corey as well. Um, I think so. We're 5-0 against teams that are currently in the playoffs.
Yeah.
The teams that are below 5-0. So if we're 5-0, that means we played 7 games against teams that aren't in the playoffs. So we're 4-3. I guess I don't know if it would fall into that under the 500 thing. So we're 4-3 against teams that aren't in the playoffs. We're 5-0 against teams that are in the playoffs. And again, luckily for us, we won't have to play any of the teams that we lost to in the playoffs. We were playing better against better football teams, of course. We lost to the Colts. We lost to the Browns, and then which NFC team do we lose to? The Cowboys.
The Cowboys.
You're never going to see any of these teams again, except for the Browns next weekend. We'll take care of that business. We'll put them out of their misery, as we did with the Cincinnati Bengals, who I do believe is eliminated from playoff contention as of the loss yesterday. I could be wrong, but I seen different reports saying that they are eliminated along with the New England Patriots, guys. So as of right now, the Patriots are out for sure. I don't know if the Bengals are, but this is what I hear.
They might be in the hunt.
Okay.
You know, you're like there's a way they're sitting 10th right now. They have to leapfrog a couple teams. They have a path to it, but it's
winning
not
yesterday would have been
good.
big for the Bengals in their quest. Guys, also, we didn't play a division team until 3 weeks ago, right?
Uh-huh.
All right, so you're saying, well, the division's tough. Those are going to be tough, and they were. We only beat the Baltimore by 2. We lost to the Browns in a shit game, and then also, of course, we had to score 44 points to beat the Bengals. Guys, we outscored our division in those 3 games. Get this, 81-78. 81-78. Talking about AFC North kind of numbers, couldn't be any closer. 81-78 is what we outscored our AFC North opponents by over the last 3 weeks. Again, we have one more this week against the Browns.
Yeah.
Then we head to Philly. Then we head to Baltimore. Then we come home for 2. We've come home to play the Chiefs on Christmas Day and then finish up against the Bengals about a month from now. So, guys, Mike, 5 games left. Ohio bookends, and then the 3 tough ones that everyone talked about all season long, smack dab in between, which would be Philly, Baltimore, Kansas City. Mike, Ohio bookends with Philly, Baltimore, Kansas City. And I don't want to put any pressure on you, but how many of these 5 games do you think we're going to win?
I was actually counting that up as you were talking there. I'm right now saying 3-2.
Okay.
And I will be happy with that. That's what 12-5. I will be over the moon with 12-5. Right now in my head, I have the losses as the the Eagles and the Chiefs. We haven't won at Philadelphia since 1965. Every time we go in there, it's just a horror show. So I'm just anticipating that's going to be a loss. And I think the Kansas City game, I don't know why. I just have a feeling that would be the loss, but we will win all of the division games.
I like the Chiefs. I like the Chiefs game. I think the Steelers are going to win this one. The Chiefs have not showed me a whole bunch this year.
Yeah.
They've showed me how they could slither and sneak
Yeah.
into wins. I think the Steelers just have I think we have a good chance of winning. I think we win this one. The Baltimore or the last Cincinnati game, those are the ones that are up in the air for me. I could see us losing either one of them. Philadelphia is always tough. We've never won in Philadelphia. Never.
Yeah.
And then the Browns game, of course, this week. John saying the Bengals have a 2%. And guys, after our win yesterday, we are sitting at a 99% chance of making the playoffs as we speak. A couple of things moving forward. While we're talking about records and percentages, some people are going to want to celebrate this. Some people are going to want to tear my head off. But nonetheless, I have to say it. Mike Tomlin still does not have a losing season in his career, guys. Never, ever, ever in the NFL as a head coach, he's not had a losing season. And my argument before you come down on me is this: only about 2 teams have won the Super Bowl over the past 10 years. Granted, maybe 2 or 3, but you know what? For everybody else, did they all have all those wins as well?
Yeah.
We love enjoying our wins. You know what? You're not going to win the Super Bowl every year, so you know what? When we're not winning Super Bowls, I will take 500. 500 plus. The thing is, it's very hard to win a Super Bowl, and the Chiefs obviously are the team right now. It's in it. So you know what? I like I said, the Mike Tomlin thing has grown on me. because I understand that you can't win it every single year.
Yeah.
And if you're not going to win it every single year, you know what? We at least want to win the regular season. We at least want to win games. Steeler fans love to enjoy their team, wave their towel, drink their beer, and win football games. The fact of the matter is they are. And most of the time, you put yourself in a position to make the playoffs, which gives you an opportunity.
And
Unfortunately, we haven't been able to take
yeah.
advantage of that. But I do want to throw it out there, guys. Mike Tomlin still has never had a losing season in his career. Again, love it, hate it, whatever you want to do. The fact of the matter is, it is what it is, and we have one of the most successful coaches in the
Yeah.
NFL.
You just wish the play a little bit better playoff success, even if we don't win the Super Bowl. You want to win a couple more playoff games
Right.
here and there.
This is the year, I'm telling you.
Yeah. The franchise hasn't had a losing season in what 20 or
21 seasons.
Yeah, 21 seasons. So that's my
The
God.
longest ever.
Yeah, that's like I'll take that. I'll take that. You wish we had a couple more playoff wins there, but I'll take it. But yeah, I think this is the year the playoff drought is broken. We get some wins. The way this team is
I
playing.
agree. This is
Like
say what you want about Tomlin's coaching, Mike. Those teams we put on the field the past 3 years weren't exactly great teams.
No.
I mean, look at our quarterbacks and look at so it takes more than
And-
Mike Tomlin. It's an organizational thing to win. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, but no, and like Steeler Freak said, man, we're winning a la carte right now. Whatever it takes to win, we're
Yes.
finding ways to win. And you can't win every game, so let's do it. Let's do it.
I'm not sure how many, Mike, if you could look up how many AFC North titles with Mike Tomlin. I mean, there's a few. I'm not sure exactly. Mike will look that up. Also, guys, 10 different receivers caught passes from Russell Wilson yesterday, which is huge. Again, Russell Wilson just playing out of his mind yesterday. All 10 different receivers, Mike, none of them were our newly acquired Mike Williams. Everybody on the team who could be eligible to catch a pass, I think, caught a pass yesterday. Mike Williams in the game multiple times. I see him in the huddle. I see him out there. I mean, what's this guy stink? Or I mean, does he smell? What's the deal? Why does this dude not get passes thrown to him?
I don't know. I'm gonna have to go back. I'm gonna go and watch all of his snaps again this week and see his routes and see if he's open, getting open, where Russ is looking, the way he's being used and designed. And like Mike Williams posted on Instagram, him celebrating with Fryermuth. He was like, "Fuck it, we're winning." It was like so. He would like the ball, but he's okay with the team winning. And if he's being used out there, at least he's getting out there. Teams are paying attention to him. You saw, guys clamping down on him on that Calvin Austin touchdown. So he's drawing attention away from some receivers. So whatever it takes, we need to start getting him involved in the offense. He's getting out there more and more. But, as long as everyone else is producing, I'm fine. If we end up using a 5th round pick on him, he only has like 4 catches all year, F it. As long as we're winning, I don't care. I want to see him get more involved. I'm hoping he'll get more involved. His stat count, I think, is increasing game after game. So now Russ has to start looking for him.
All right, guys, let's get to specifics. We talked a lot of numbers, speculation, moving forward, things like this. Now it's time to talk about the game yesterday. The Pittsburgh Steelers, guys, 520. I'm going to say this one more time, guys, for the people way, way in the back. 520 yards for the Steelers offense. That's right. This Pittsburgh Steelers team, 520 yards to Cincinnati's 375 yards. The Steelers threw for 410. The Bengals threw for 282. The Steelers ran for 110. The Bengals ran for 93. We win the first down battle 28-25. Third downs, we went 4 for 9. They went 4 for 8. Total plays, we had 66. Cincinnati had 57. They allowed 4 sacks. We allowed 2. They punted the ball 2 times. We punted the ball once, which I think is amazing.
What's the last time you saw that from a Steeler team?
Penalty-wise, we had 9 for 103 yards, but they had 11 for 101. We can all complain and think of things that we'll get into, believe me.
Oh, yeah, we will.
Fumbles, they fumbled 2 times. We fumbled none. We both had an interception, and we win the time of possession. Mike, you said we needed to win the time of possession in this game last week. We had 31:09 to Cincinnati's 28:51. So the Pittsburgh Steelers, guys, again, 9-3 moving forward. Our leaders, if you will. Wilson goes 29 of 38 for 414, 3 touchdowns and an interception, which matches what Joe Burrow did. What matches what Joe Burrow did because he had 3 touchdowns and interceptions. So the best quarterback, one of the best quarterbacks in the league, our quarterback, outgained him in yards.
But Russell Wilson's mid. He's mid, guys. He's mid. That's what I keep hearing after this game. He's mid. It was the Bengals defense.
Our
He's
leading
good.
rusher with 16 carries, Najee Harris has 75 yards and a touchdown. George Pickens, 3 catches, 74 yards and a touchdown. Elliott, Mike, we said, is he going to have more than 5.5 tackles? He had 11 total, 7 and 4. Also having a big game, who I got to give credit to. If I'm gonna talk shit, I'm also gonna give you credit
Yeah.
when you deserve it. Cam,
Cam.
Cam,
Beast.
he was a
He's a
beast
beast.
yesterday. If he
Yeah.
played that way every game, I would acknowledge, I would agree with
Yeah.
everyone who goes on and on about Cam.
Uh-huh.
The guy was a train. He breaks through the line, stops him
Yeah.
I think on a 2-yard line for a
Whew.
2-yard loss. He was falling on guys. He was slamming guys. He had a sack. I mean, Cam
Yeah.
Hayward, I give it to him, guys. Big game for the Cam man. Also, TJ Watt with a huge game, 3 tackles, 2 sacks. What he caused a fumble, caused a bunch of mayhem when it mattered at the
Yeah.
end of the game. A couple other leaders on defense. Nick Herbig with 1 tackle, 1 assisted tackle. And you see what Nick Herbig did at the end of the
Mm-hmm.
game, punched the ball loose and allowed Peyton Wilson to walk it into the end zone. And finally, Dante Jackson. Mike, I said, one of these guys got to get an interception today. Dante Jackson gets that
Yep.
interception yesterday. Mike, all in all, overall, you got to be happy with the Cincinnati game, but you got to think, okay, this is probably take the quarterback situation out because he's one of the best, no two ways about it. But now you're going to start facing teams where the defenses are a lot better.
Yeah.
Cincinnati's defense was certainly not good, but again, at the end of the day, we win a shootout in a game that Cincinnati. You would think it certainly would benefit a team like Cincinnati shootout.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Everyone was like, "Oh, if it gets into a shootout, Cincinnati's going to win. It's going to be over. They're going to have too many weapons for the Steelers to contain." And we contain them. I'm sorry. Jamar Chase, 6 catches, 86 yards and a touchdown. That's containing him. The way this cat has been playing this year, I'm happy with what we limited it to. It took some penalties to keep him and T. Higgins under 100 yards each. I'm fine with that because in the long run it did not hurt us. This they're Joe Burrow's top 3 quarterback, Jamar Chase's top 2 wide receiver in the league. They're going to put up numbers, and we didn't let those 2 guys win the game. I'm happy with that defensive performance. The run game, after a couple big gainers, they locked it up. They locked it up big time. You take away Chase Brown's 40-yard run, he had 11 carries for 30 yards. I'll take that. We shut him down because it looked like that first series or 2, they were just going to be able to run the ball on us, get the play action going, keep us on our heels in the defense, and let the passing game just, throw for Jamar Chase. I thought he was going to end up having like three touchdowns, 150 yards against us. The way that run game was going, it was going to open up the pass game. It didn't. They shut it down. I'm happy with the defensive performance outside of a certain Penn Stater.
Yeah, and also he had a big game last night, which helped the Steelers out. We'll get to that here more shortly. Good morning to Roger as well. Roger on the board as well. Good morning. There's 2 in particular guys, one on offense, one on defense I want to talk about where I think there's going to be a lot of conversation. The one on offense, of course, being George Pickens, and the one on defense yesterday, of course, being Joey Porter Jr. Mike, I'll take George Pickens. I'll let you take Joey Porter Jr. All right, for Pickens, guys, the first play of the game was bullshit. The guy took the back of Pickens' head, shoved his head into the ground, which basically everything that was wrong with the play, the announcer came on and told you why it was okay. And it literally made no sense to me. They said if you grab a guy, the illegal hands to the face is now more acceptable. Let me stop you right there. The illegal hands to the face is more acceptable in this particular situation. Okay, so whatever they're doing, they deemed this illegal play as acceptable. Also, in the same breath, the announcer says something along the lines of, in the head area, it's okay. In the head area, it's okay? When have you ever heard those terms used in football, Mike? As long as the illegal hands to the head, somehow the announcer made this justified. Again, this could be something we could be complaining about a lot more and a lot longer. We didn't lose because of it, so I'm not going to do that. But what a ridiculous situation. How you grab somebody by the back of the head, shove them to the ground, intercept the ball, take it all the way. When you look at a situation like they had with Kansas City and the Raiders yesterday, how the referees made that little switcheroo with the call. Guys, I think it's bullshit. I don't know what these refs are up to. For one, you can't grab a guy by the back of the head and shove his face into he's a receiver, for one.
Yeah.
So, Mike, That's my opinion there. George Pickens also in this game gets a couple unsportsmanlike calls. Also, he kicks a ball up into the crowd. A lot of different things. I mean, which you could you could say, well, you know what? He wasn't doing the gun signal when he got the unsportsmanlike. He wasn't this. He wasn't that. He kicked the. He just needs to calm the fuck. He needs to calm down.
Yeah.
Coach, players, everybody got to maybe approach him at some point and give him an intervention. Hug him or hug that man.
Well,
And
no,
I
no,
gotta say, and yes, Jen, this Orlando Brown was really bad. We'll get to that in just a sec. But Mike, this with George Pickens, uh, when Broderick Jones is the voice of reason in any situation ever, you gotta say, you know what? Maybe we got a little situation here. We pushed toxicity out with players, and I hope we could get this situation figured out with Pickens because Mike in the playoffs one of those things could cost you a whole entire game, and
yeah,
people aren't going to be happy if this doesn't get
yeah,
fixed between now and then.
yeah, and like you said, something needs to be done. You know you've crossed the line when Tomlin starts calling you out in the media when he says
Yes.
you need to grow up, because Tomlin's not the type of coach to talk about players like that in public. He usually said that's an internal matter. We're going to handle it internally. So now there have been internal conversations with George, and I do like how Broderick Jones was the calming influence on him. He stepped. Not only did Broderick Jones step up in the game playing, but he stepped up in a leadership role. And his quotes after the game saying, "Hey, I've known George for a long time. We've known him in college. I know what to say to him, what not to say to him." And I wonder, someone on the coaching staff was like, "Hey, you guys known each other. Let's, get him how he needs to be." And you saw everyone talking to him at the game. You see, like Cam was talking to him. People are talking to him, trying to get his head right, and he needs his head right because this team needs him. This team feeds off of him, and defenses fear him, but they also know they can push his buttons. And he
Mm-hmm.
just gotta learn to suppress that urge, man. Suppress that urge
Mike,
to retaliate right away.
as the season goes on, you just try to find little things, and you say, "Is this going to be something we're going to be able to beat the Buffalo Bills
Yeah.
if this is still happening?" I think the Buffalo Bills is the team that you look at when you're trying to figure these things out. I don't think it's Kansas City. I don't think Buffalo is the team that I think is best designed to beat the Pittsburgh Steelers. We
Hmm.
always say teams built certain ways, play teams
Yeah.
that are built different ways. I think we have to figure out a way to beat Buffalo, and I don't think that
Yeah.
having two unsportsmanlike and also all these incidents with George, they have Mike. They have 5 weeks. Listen, five
Yeah.
weeks. Get it together.
Hmm.
I want to throw it over to you, Mike.
Yeah.
Give me your take on the Joey Porter. I mean, of course, these guys are the
Whew.
two big stories, I think, for
Yeah.
one reason or another, notoriously for the game yesterday. So, Mike,
Yeah.
give us your take on what
What?
went on with Joey Porter Jr.
JBJ, what, 6 penalties between accepted and declined? That is unacceptable. I thought a couple of those calls were ticky tacky, especially that last one on T. Higgins in the end zone. Like we've seen that play numerous times where that flag is not called, but the one where he tackled the guy in the end zone because he got lost in coverage, bad form. But hey, when you're in the end zone, you don't know where the ball is. You think the guy's going to get an automatic six. Go ahead, make the tackle, but you should be in a much better position than that. Um, some of the other stuff, I thought a couple other calls in the game were kind of soft. Guys are hand fighting. We see guys, defensive backs do whatever they want to do to George Pickens, and it doesn't get called. But Porter, like they mentioned during the game, he has a target on his back because teams know, the league know that he can get handsy. And the thing is with him, he's in good position. He doesn't need to have his hands on guys. You can see him beat stride for someone, and he's sitting there mugging them. Like, you don't need to do that, man. Like, it's like it's still a crutch he's leaning on, because in college you were allowed to have your hands on guys further down the field. He just needs to let it go.
Mike, if he takes that pick six, if he grabs that ball to the goal line and
Oh,
goes 100 yards, or is people talking a lot less about Joey Porter
yes.
this morning?
Yes, because it, like that right there, you make that impactful play that you flip the script of the game, you put a capper on the game. People go, okay, this is why we have this guy. Is yeah, he might take a little liberties here and there, get called for a penalty, but you make that pick six, we'll gladly take that right there, and he didn't. That's how fast you can go from hero to goat, and He just didn't, or zero to hero, excuse me, and he didn't have it. Yeah, Joey Penalty Porter. That's what he was this week and 2 weeks ago against McLaurin. He was just got beat, but he might not be that top flight corner. He's a shutdown corner, but I think once you get to the level of like a Jamar Chase and maybe even McLaurin, I think he's an underrated route runner. Those guys might be too much for Porter. We need another guy opposite Porter that can cover those shiftier guys. And I think you notice too, like they flipped Dante Jackson the whole time over to
Yeah.
Jamar Chase and
A
let
lot of
Porter
adjustment and different
let
looks,
Porter
Mike.
and they let Porter match up against T. Higgins. He's a more physical receiver, not the crisp route runner that Jamar Chase is. So I think the team recognizes that they needed to get a better pure cover corner, not like the tall, rangy, physical corner that Porter is.
Mike, I think also, the defense did a great job yesterday making adjustments, putting guys in different positions, covering different guys. I think that this is how they. Good morning to Mark. Good morning
Yeah,
to Ron.
yeah, I
We'll
saw
get to
that
you in a
too.
sec here, but
Yeah,
um,
yeah.
I
Right here,
love
real
the
quick. The
way that
holding
they
call
were
and the
making
PI was great.
adjustments. What's that?
John, I forgot about that. The holding and the PI on the same play. That was just top notch
Yeah, he had like
for
6
Jake.
penalties on one play. It was
That was
amazing.
great. That was great.
But I like the way that the defense and the coaching adjusted. You had TJ Watt on the right side of the defensive line. You
Yeah.
had your number one corner on T. Higgins. They did what you were supposed to do, I think. And
Hmm.
and again, they got medium results. They scored 44. They let up 38. Guess what? You win that football game.
Yeah.
If you lose, we have a whole bunch of problems to talk about. So we'll skim over a few of them because again, there's a lot of football season left. We got Ohio bookends, and then in the middle, guys, we have the Eagles on the road, the Ravens on the road, and Kansas City at home on Christmas Day. So we still have a lot of work to do, especially if we want to make some noise in the playoffs, which I think we can certainly make some noise in the playoffs. I'm looking around the league. Maybe Detroit is one team I see that's head and shoulders better than a lot of the teams around them. But you know what? You look, and maybe Buffalo, maybe Buffalo.
Hmm.
But you look at a lot of these other teams, I think they're kind of in the group that we're in. I think with us and the Ravens and the Chargers and the and the Broncos and the Vikings and the Packers. I mean, these are all very similar teams in talent. And unless you're just going to say, you know what, two best teams in, Bills and Detroit, everybody else stinks and goes home. Fortunately for us, that's not the way things go. That's why
Yep.
they play the game. We are in that pack of the other teams, and you know what? Somebody just might come out of that and win it. So
Yeah.
I'm like every week, I'm feeling a little bit better, Mike, about this game. Uh,
Like I was gonna say, after this game, I feel comfortable going up against any team in the AFC right now. I think they're all a coin
I
flip.
think the Bills are the one
Ever
that's a little bit
the
better than
Bills,
everybody
yeah,
else,
they've had our number the past couple years.
and that
They've had,
too. Yeah.
yeah, they have our number right now. But I'd be more comfortable this season playing them than I have in the past couple seasons. I just feel like it all depends on like what Steeler team wants to show up. The team that we saw today, yeah. The team that we saw on Thursday night, no.
Mike, was there any reason Orlando Brown wasn't getting a penalty called against him every other, maybe even more than every other time that the Bengals were ready to snap a ball? This dude was offside. He was moving every single play. Is there a reason? Is there a reason the refs didn't walk up to him between quarters? Bro, we're gonna start calling this on you. Maybe
Yeah,
getting the flag going. Mike, why? Why does Orlando Brown get to move on
I
that offensive line
I
all
don't know.
afternoon? I've
I
never
don't
seen
know.
this.
I find it funny too that it was the Cincinnati lineman that was doing it because all what early in the year or last time they played the Chiefs, that's what they complained about. Oh, their tackle jumps. Your tackle jumps too.
Yeah.
My guy's like on the touchdown. He's like two beats,
I've
two
never
steps into the
seen that.
backfield before the ball snapped. There's a flipping line judge, the same line judge that didn't, see Tomlin trying to call a flipping timeout, staring down at the ball so he can see if the defense or offense moves. And he watched this guy takes 5 steps to the backfield, do a pirouette like he's Barishnikov. Oh yeah, touchdown, good play. It's mind-boggling. These refs are half these crews are incompetent. There's good referees, there's good line judges, back judges, but there's not enough of them. There's not
Roger
enough
makes a
good
great
crews.
point. It's okay whenever they grab our receiver by the back of his head, push him to the
Hmm.
ground, intercept the ball, and walk it into the end zone.
Yeah.
And when there was a play, Joey Porter, one of them Joey Porter interferences was not an interference. I can't think. I don't know which one it was in
Yeah.
particular. but it was very, very, very flaky call. Again, I'm wondering, guys. I got my eye on these officials. I don't know what they're up to. They either maybe the worst officials ever, or something else is going on. But again, I got my eye on this, guys. Mike, the Bengals linebacker Jermaine Pratt guaranteed a win over the Steelers
Hmm.
yesterday. Why do guys keep doing this, and why do they
I
let it
don't
get
know.
public, and why do they get to the point where this is the NFL. It's not high school. It's not these guys are very good and they'll beat your ass from week to week. Jermaine Pratt, the linebacker, guarantees the victory over the Steelers. Mike, why do guys keep doing this?
Uh, competitive juices, trying to fire your team up, dumbasses. Take your pick.
Yeah.
Confident in yourself, yeah. You want to be like, yeah, man. I want to go out there. You're not going. Oh no, we're going to lose. Of course we're going to lose. We suck. No, but also don't want to go. Yeah, I guarantee you win. We're going to win. You're going to, hey man, I feel confident that we should walk out of there with the win. You phrase it like that, so it's not a guarantee. You don't go, oh, I guarantee we're going to win. That's a stupid thing to say.
Like us, even
But
being a good team, we're 9-3. It's like us coming
you,
out and say, you know what? We lost to Cleveland 2 weeks ago, but I guarantee we're going to beat them this
yeah,
Sunday. You don't do it.
you
Don't
don't
say
you
it.
don't say that. You don't say it. And that's like when Pickens after the game, all the Cleveland Browns are they're not a good team. Well, thanks, George. We play them again in 2 weeks. Come
Yeah.
on, man. Let's use our head a little bit here. It's the same thing. Now, we had bulletin board material. Now they do too. You don't say stuff like that. You got to throw a lot of qualifiers in there if you're going to start talking about a guarantee. You got to learn how to phrase it.
Mike, we're going to jump into the game ball scores and things as such here in just a moment. But one more thing. When TJ Watt forced that fumble yesterday, he became tied in second place by Steelers in forced fumbles in the franchise. Greg Lloyd has 33 forced fumbles in his time here, and TJ Watt has just tied James Harrison with 32
Wow.
forced fumbles as a Steeler.
Well, TJ Watt leads the league in strip sacks, forced fumbles since 2017.
Yes.
From when he was a rookie till now.
Yeah. He's doing
That's
something.
he's doing all right. He's doing all right.
Okay, this guy.
Doing all right for a mediocre player, apparently.
Yeah. What's up?
New money doesn't make new intelligence.
Yeah.
Ain't that the truth?
Ain't that the truth?
I'm willing to find out if it does.
Roger said avoid
Lloyd.
Lloyd.
Avoid the Lloyd. I miss those.
Mike, who is your game ball?
There's a lot of people it can go to. Like a lot of people. Russ, TJ, just about anyone on the defense. I'm gonna go a little off board here. I'm gonna go Arthur Smith.
Okay.
I kind of like the way his offense was moving. I like the play calls that he had out there. So I'm gonna go Arthur Smith game ball. Like Field of Steel saying the whole team. Yeah,
Can you give the whole team a game ball without giving it to JPJ and George Pickens?
Yeah, those two got to sit at the kids' table.
Yeah,
They're not at the grown-up table today. Yeah, for different reasons, they're at the bad table.
Yeah.
Like Roger said, Cam had a hell of a game. We like to criticize Cam when he was done, but he had a monster of a game. This is what you love to see from him. But I'm going to go Arthur Smith. He's been, we've all kicked him when he was down, and like Cam, we got to praise him when he did well. And I thought he called a damn good game. So mine's going to be the offensive.
I think my game ball's easy. Again, they win. You get a lot of players deserve, some praise. But Russell Wilson, again, has the best game in his career.
Yeah.
In a lot of ways. He wins a shootout against a top caliber quarterback in the league. Mm-hmm. I think that the leader of this team, Russell Wilson, deserves the game ball the most. Again, you can't take anything away from Herbig and Watt. And
no, you can't.
The team played a very good game. And they win a shootout. Again, how many times do you hear that about your Steelers guys winning a shootout against an elite quarterback?
I have a honorable mention, Calvin Austin.
Yeah,
and not only the touchdown, but taking two hard hits, securing the ball on that last one that knocked him out of the game. That dude is a trooper, right? Steeler freak.
I told Mike yesterday. I said, if we lose this game yesterday, I would have put us at 8-4, which would have been one game better than Kenny Pickett's Steelers last year when he was 7-5 at game 12 with when he got injured and he was done for the season. 7-5. And we are we would have been 8-4, one game better than Kenny.
Mhm.
And you know what? Russell came out and just didn't even leave any thoughts of that. He had the best game he's ever played in a lot
Mhm.
of areas. Wins a shootout. This team is 2 games better than last year's Steelers that made the playoffs and finished with what, a 10-7. Guys,
Yeah.
I like this team. They're moving in the right direction, and these
Mhm.
are things on Tomlin's team that I wanted to see happen. Mike, I wanted to see the team improving a little bit every week and getting better.
Yeah.
And this is exactly what this team has been doing. You can't be too disappointed in what the Steelers have done so far this season after 12
No,
games.
you can't. No. Like every team has bumps in the road. We had, unfortunately, ours was against the Browns, so I kind of put a damper on the moment for a little bit there. But no, I'm been more than happy with the way this team has played. And yes, Koronic, man, he came up out of nowhere. He had another nice play. Van Jefferson, nice play.
Brian over at One Man's Opinion says my game ball goes to Skoranek because who the hell is he?
Like, hey,
Exactly.
he's a dog. That's what the guys were calling him. Like he loves to be out there when it's a run situation. He was bowling people over in the run game. Uh,
Good team win.
another little sneaky signing that flew under the radar from Omar Khan. We need a guy who can be a gunner and who can do the dirty work on offense. And he was out injured for a while and came back in without missing a beat. He's playing better than Mike Williams.
Who's this?
Skoranek.
Oh yeah.
He had the fumble recovery on the Ravens game. A couple key blocks, a big catch now.
All right, Mike, we got to get to the grades. So let's start with the quarterbacks. Mike, what do you grade your quarterbacks from the game yesterday against the Bengals?
A plus, A plus. My God, Russ. It goes without saying what he did. That interception, I do not fault him at all. We got robbed on that. Justin Fields coming in on his 2 plays. The second one was brilliant. Everyone thought he was going to hand it off, and he.
Why am I the only person that didn't think he was going to hand the ball off? The guy hasn't handed the ball off yet in this
I know.
position.
He read it perfectly. That cornerback is still out on the field looking for his jockstrap. He cannot find it. It was a great effort by both those guys.
All right, guys, let's go to the running backs. Mike, the running backs for the day. Najee Harris, Jalen Warren, the whole crew. What do you give these guys?
I give them an A plus as well. Najee was running wild. Jalen Warren, he was effective when he was in there, but you got to put Jalen Warren in the pass game and his pass blocking ability. Cordell Patterson, that second, third drive where he was just in there catching everything from Russ across the middle. A plus.
We got to give the let's give Skoranek his flowers here. Mike Phyllis still says Skoranek goes hard until the whistle blows. John
Yep.
says Skoranek plays like Kurt Rambis. You catch the old
Man,
NBA. I like that.
Modern day Hanson brother.
The modern day Hanson
I'm
brothers.
listening to the fucking song.
All right, guys. So, Mike, the tight ends. What do you give the tight ends? Pat Farmy, that is a
Oh,
nice
man.
day. Big
Woo.
Washington and a couple nice catches. What do you give the big boys at the end of the line?
I'm giving them an A as well. You cannot forget about little Hayward. He recovered the onside kick.
You did.
Yeah, but Patty Fry had a hell of a game. Though it felt like he had more than 3 catches. Mount Washington in the run game again, a beast. A key 10-yard reception. A plus, fucking A plus.
All right, Mike, let's go to the wide receivers. What do you give the wide receivers? Again, 10 different people touched the ball as far as catching a pass from Russell Wilson, none of them being Mike Williams.
No.
A bit of a head scratcher to me. But, Mike, what do you give the wide receivers? We'll throw the whole crew in there, running backs, tight ends. What do you give as far as the way we caught the ball and played that yesterday? What do you give the wide receivers?
The way we caught the ball, I'm going to give them an A. Every way everyone played an A. We get 2 touchdowns from your wide receivers, 1 from your tight end. They get an A. I didn't notice anything like a bad in route running and like any key drops. Everyone you needed a play. They made a play.
And Van Jefferson's 1 catch was the biggest play that he's had all year, maybe.
Yeah, 1 for 43. Skoranek 1 for 23. These were huge plays. Michael Pruitt 2 for 21. You can get out.
All right. So what do you give these receivers? An A?
Hey, man.
Look at you. I wish I had teachers like you.
Hey, you know what? After a win, baby, the grades go up, baby.
Let's go over to the offensive line, Mike. You got to say, we gave up 1 sack. I thought the sacks would be the pressure to the quarterback would be an issue. This has been an issue all season. Russell Wilson has been good despite having these issues all season long. The running backs, I thought, could get stuffed in the backfield. Hendrickson was going to have a big day after what we've seen from Myles Garrett last week. Mike, it wasn't these things at all. What do you grade this offensive line?
I'm gonna give them an A as well.
Woo! Whole
Like
way across the
his
board on offense. An A.
Yeah, an
Look at
A
you.
across the board. The 2 sacks, what Russ slid, if he would have ran forward on the one up the middle, he would not have been sacked. And I think the other sack was what he ran out of bounds. They counted that as the sack too, because behind the line of
Yeah.
scrimmage. So I think both sacks were not egregious. He had a lot of time to throw. Backs had time to run. I give them an A. And like you say, Trey play? You
He
didn't
leads
see
the
him
league in
anywhere.
sacks. I didn't see him.
Yeah. I thought they did a masterful job of scheming ways to help Dan Moore, and Dan Moore, when he's left 1-on-1, did a hell of a job.
Mike, let's jump over to the defensive side of the ball. What do you think this defensive line? Cam Hayward, Larry Ogunjobi, Keanu Benton, Montrevious Adams. I didn't see him
Yeah,
much.
he
I know
didn't
he was
play.
supposed to be back.
Loudermilk was in there.
Loudermilk, Dean Lowry, guys like this. Mike, what do you give the defensive line?
Early in the game, it was about to be an F. But I thought they played another whale of a game, especially Cam. I think what Benton was in there in a key sack too. I'm going to give these guys an A as well because I criticize Cam when he doesn't play well, which happens more often than people want to admit in the media. But no, he had a whale of a game. Everyone else had a
absolutely.
solid games. Guys were actually beating people 1-on-1 when pressure or when the pass protection was shifted away from them. They get A's as well.
Mike, the linebacker core,
Ooh.
your Watts, your Herbigs, your Peyton Wilsons, anybody besides Patrick Queen, I thought really stood out yesterday to me. Mike, what do you grade these linebackers?
Poor Patrick Queen. I think he was left in coverage where he does not need to be left in coverage a whole lot. He gets exposed a little bit there, but they're also going to get an A as well. How can they not?
Look at you.
Yeah, I'm willing to allow some of those passes across the middle because, like I said, in 43 years of watching football, I've never seen us cover the middle of the flipping field. That 3rd and 18 that they converted, I knew that was going to happen. I just knew it. I seen that play too many times. Everyone knew it was going to happen. So, but no, I'm giving the backers an A because what can you say about Watt, Herbig, Preston Smith? Even had a fumble recovery. These guys were out there making plays. You didn't notice anything different out there. Exactly, Brian. I ain't giving out like I'm a middle school gym teacher. It's like an A, baby. It's an A.
All right, let's get to these DBs. Like come on, Joey Porter Jr.
Yeah,
but Dante Jackson. Minka's not doing quite what you wanted him to. But
Minka gets paid $17 million to make
Sean
sure
Elliott.
Sean Elliott.
I think that some may have just slightly achieved yesterday, but I think a couple did their job and carried the secondary. Mike, what do you think?
I tell you what, I'm giving the DBs a B plus. That's going to be the lowest grade right here. A B plus, just because Joey Porter.
Let me ask you, if the guy that had the issues wasn't a Penn State guy, would this be lower than a B plus?
I know.
Not
because we're going to the Big Ten championship, baby. But no, here, real quick, Minka Fitzpatrick. You're getting paid $17 million.
That was the problem, 007 on that particular play. I think them switching to zone on that was the. I'm not going to say I thought it was stupid because they do this, but that's certainly what was allowed them to get that first down on 21 yards.
It was like, we're going to allow you to catch the underneath. We're going to not let you beat us deep, and then that bit him in the ass right there. Dick LeBeau used to do that. Dick LeBeau, as I used to call him.
All right, Mike. So the DB. Let's get to the coaching. How do you feel the coaching? I thought the adjustments were great. I thought the fact that we went out there and we was able to win a shootout against, arguably one of the best quarterbacks in the league. I thought the fact that we went out there Mike, coaching.
Coaching's going to be an A plus across the board. I thought they did well. Offense, defense. They were changing it up. I wish we had changed things up faster mid game, not wait until halftime. But the halftime adjustments have been on point. It was great to see it. I liked what they did with Jamar Chase. We're going to put 2 people on you. We're going to put our number 1 corner on your number 2 and see what happens and go from there. If 2 beats you, oh well. I like what they did there. I like we brought more pressure this time too. I like the way we started to move Watt around. I like the way the offense mixed in the no huddle when situations didn't call for it to catch them off balance. I think we talked about it on the pregame show was run the no huddle, catch them off balance. I loved it. These guys get an A plus.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with Roger and I agree with 007. I would like to see less zone, but that's just generally the Steelers. I mean, they've always ran a zone, which usually worked well with their blitzing packages. But the adjustments yesterday did me well. Finally, or no, Mike. Also, special teams. I know that Waitman only had one punt in the game. That's a huge plus. Chris Boswell didn't miss any field goals, anything like that.
He had one blocked.
He did have the one blocked. Mike, what do you give the
Yeah.
special teams in this game?
They're going to get a B plus because we did have it was a block kick, and that 3 points could have been huge, but Boswell was still 3 of 4, 5 of 5 on extra points. Waitman had the one punt; it was a nice punt. They're going to get a B plus.
Hey, what's up, Kenneth? Kenneth says, I thought that this was Arthur Smith's best game of the season. Great bounce back. I couldn't agree more.
Yeah, he got my game ball. If you're just here, Kenneth. Yeah, but yeah.
Also, Mike, overall, what do you give the Pittsburgh Steelers on their performance in Cincinnati on Sunday afternoon?
And fuck it, A plus, baby, A plus. We're gonna throw out a couple of those B's that were in there. Those were outliers. I'm in a happy mood, man.
Yeah. It's hard not to be happy about what happened yesterday in Cincinnati, guys. Again tonight, the Browns are traveling to Mile High to play the Broncos. 8:15 tonight. It has a little to do, not a whole lot to do with us. Of course, the Browns are in the basement in our division, and the Broncos are the 7th seed. I guess it has a little bearing to what we have going on, but still, nonetheless, this is who we play next. I'll certainly be keeping my eye on the Browns, especially after losing the game to them we just lost to a few weeks back. So the Browns tonight on Monday Night Football. Mike, let me blow through these scores for the week. Last week when we started the games on Thanksgiving Day, the Lions, they beat the Bears by only 3 points, 23-20. The Cowboys in the game against the Giants, they win 27-20. Where, Mike, that woman that sang at halftime, Lainey Wilson, is Duck Hodges' girlfriend. So if you're wondering, the girl that sang with the cowboy hat on in the middle of the Giants-Cowboys game, that's Duck Hodges' girlfriend. You guys remember Duck Hodges? He was here a couple years ago. We're number 6. Guys, the third game on Thanksgiving was the Packers 30, the Dolphins 17. Friday's afternoon game, which had a crazy ending. The Chiefs 19, the Raiders 17. This Chiefs team is not the same team they have been. No. They play the Chargers next, Mike. I think this is going to be the one that trips them up.
I do too.
And if we win out, if that's the case, we're going to be in really good position, Mike, because if we win out and they lose this game, that's going to ultimately put them at 3 losses with the head-to-head loss to us. Long way to go, but still fun to think about.
I saw an infographic before we came on air comparing the Chiefs now to the Steelers' 11-0 record. The Steelers' offense was scoring more points than the Chiefs' offense is now, and we lost in the first round. So things aren't historically looking good for that Chiefs team.
Texans 23, the Jaguars 20 in a game where Trevor Lawrence almost loses his entire head. The Colts 25, the Patriots 24, knocking New England out of the playoff contention. The Chargers with another win. I'm telling you, this team is not going to win the Super Bowl, but they're going to mess up the day for somebody in the AFC playoffs this year. Mark my words. Chargers 17, Falcons 13. They still haven't let up 200 points this season, I don't think. Maybe after this game this weekend, I don't know, but I know they were about at 187 or so going into the weekend.
Damn.
The Seahawks taking the lead in the NFC West. They beat the Jets 26-21. The Commanders with the big win over the Titans 42-19. Minnesota, they take the win from the Arizona Cardinals 23-22. James Conner signs a huge extension out there with the Arizona Cardinals. Good for him. Also, the Rams, they beat the Saints 21-14. The Buccaneers, they pulled it off in overtime. They beat the Carolina Panthers 26-23. Also, the Eagles, they beat the Ravens in a huge game last night, guys.
Mm-hmm.
That gives us more buffer room. It gives us that game was huge. The Eagles beating the Ravens. Now we have to figure out a way to beat the Eagles in a couple weeks, and then the Ravens after that. But we'll worry about that when it comes. Eagles, a big win over the Ravens, giving us some wiggle room. Finally, the game last night that I was hoping we would get a little bit of help from the 49ers in the snow in Western New York, coming from San Francisco and playing this game. That wasn't going to happen, guys. The Buffalo Bills scored 35 again. It's like 8 or 9 games in a row they scored 30-plus points. This Bills team's offense, they're tough. That's the one team I think that you have to figure out how to beat in the AFC playoffs. And again, the game tonight is the Browns at the Broncos. And then back on Thursday, guys, the Thursday night game going into next week is the Packers and the Lions. That game should be a big game in that division nonetheless, in the NFC nonetheless, and just overall in football.
Should be a good one. That Packers team, they're You don't know how well they're going to play game in, game out. They're not a consistent team,
Right.
but they find ways to win too.
The divisions look like this. Our division, we are 9-3. Ravens are 8-5. The Bengals are 4-8. The Browns in the Pittsburgh toilet at 3-8. The Buffalo Bills in the AFC lead the way with a 10-2. I believe they clinched a playoff spot yesterday with the Chiefs. The Chiefs and Buffalo are both in as we speak. Buffalo's 10-2. Dolphins 5-7. The Jets 3-9. The Patriots 3-10. In the AFC West, the Chiefs 11-1. The Chargers 8-4. Come on, if the team leading your division isn't 11-1, 8-4 looks pretty impressive if you're the Chargers. Come on.
Yeah.
And then also the Broncos sitting in that last spot in the AFC playoffs with a 7-5. Raiders 2-10. They surprise you. Their 2 wins are against good teams. I don't know what they do there in Vegas. The South division, the Houston Texans are 8-5. The Colts 6-7. The Titans 3-9, and the Jaguars fall to 2-10. The NFC looks like this. The NFC North, the Lions leading the way 11-1. The Vikings 10-2, and the Packers 9-3. Usually the AFC North is the best division. Some people might argue.
Yeah.
Guys, 11-1, 10-2, 9-3. Their first 3. That team,
tight division.
That division is probably going to put all 3 of those teams in the playoffs, and the Bears in the basement with a 4-8 over to the NFC East. The Eagles, they improved to 10-2 after the big win last night over the Ravens. Then the Commanders are 8-5. They finally get a win after dropping a few. Cowboys 5-7, and the Giants at 2-10. The NFC West, the Seahawks lead the way with a 7-5. The Cardinals or the Rams, both 6-6, and the 49ers fell to the basement 5-7. And finally, Mike, in the NFC South, the Falcons and the Buccaneers, they are both 6-6, tied in first place. Falcons have they have the tiebreaker, but then the Saints and the Panthers, they rounded out with a 4-8 and a 3-9 division. Overall, that's what your league looks like as of right now. Again, the Browns at the Broncos tonight. The Ravens lose to the Eagles, and the Steelers beat the Bengals. That's what your AFC North looked like over the weekend. Mike, you can't really get much better than that. Again, tonight, you know what? Either one of these teams, I guess, I kind of want to root for the Browns just because the Broncos are a little better.
Yeah.
They're a couple games behind us for playoffs, but you know what? You never want to see the Browns beat anybody.
No.
I'll just watch and enjoy this game and get ready for the Browns next week.
Yeah, I want the Browns coming in off a loss. I want them beaten down. I want it to be a rough loss against the Bo Nix led Broncos. My God, there's something in my eye. I'm sorry.
Man, if that burp startled your dog, you should have been up at Derpy's aunt's house over the weekend, John.
Whoa!
Guys.
Wow!
Couple other things here. Eberflus fired last week. We seen that one come with the Chicago Bears.
The best part is he did the day after press conference. Then they fired him 2 hours later.
Yes, yeah. And then also Jen said, "Did you watch the WWE in Vancouver?" I did see that. Some of their Bengals suck sign.
Yeah,
I didn't see it, but I seen it. Yeah. Let me go over a few of these other things, guys. Over the weekend, the Pittsburgh Penguins back in they got their own winning streak here. 3 games in a row. They win Friday 2-1 over the Bruins. A win over a Boston team is always good. And then Saturday they beat the Flames 6-2. Next they play the Florida Panthers tomorrow at Pittsburgh. The women's volleyball team, who's number 1 in the land out of Pittsburgh, they won their 3rd ACC championship in a row, and they are the number 1 seed heading into the tournament
well done.
Female. Yeah, I got to tell you, if you don't like volleyball or you do like volleyball, it's worth it to watch these girls. They're very good.
Badass. I think Penn State women's volleyball team made the playoffs as well as a surprise.
No, listen.
Maybe we can link up for a final.
We're not going to talk about Penn State until we get to the next segment.
Oh, my bad.
Let's see. All right, let's get into it. The Penn State Nittany Lions, they beat Maryland 44-7 to get invited to the Big Ten championship game Saturday against number 1 seed Oregon. Big game coming up this weekend for Penn State. Penn State finishes 11-1 the regular season. Also in the Big Ten, the Ohio State Buckeyes have they were 23-point favorites at home. Yeah. They managed to lose to Michigan, a lowly Michigan team, 13-10. Ohio State finishes 10-2. They have lost to the Michigan Wolverines 4 years in a row now. 21 because everyone was sick, 22 because everyone was cold, 23 because Michigan cheated in 24. Who knows what Ohio's excuse is going to be this year? But 4 years in a row, Michigan over Ohio State. That's why Derpy may be hanging off the side of a bridge somewhere right now.
I wonder if Derpy was out on the field when players are getting pepper sprayed.
You're right.
I can see Derpy running out there trying to steal the sign.
He was he's the one that went and knocked the guy when the guy went to put the flag in the middle of the field.
Derpy was down there. Derpy rushed the field. He's like, not in my house, bitches.
That's right. Also, West Virginia, they lose 52-15 to Texas Tech over the weekend. That gives them a 6-6 record to finish up the season. Also, Mike, the Pitt Panthers, they lose 5 in a row after that 7-0 start. I think there's more to what more than what's being said within the locker room. But anyway, they take that loss 34-23. The final record on their season is 7-5. They will be going to a bowl game. Also, the Pitt Panthers basketball team beats Ohio State 91-90 in double overtime buzzer beater to beat the Ohio State Buckeyes in that game. Let me just double check, make sure I'm not missing anything here, and then we'll get into some trivia. Mike, why don't you go ahead and get us started and tell us about the website?
Real quick, I just want to address the 007's comment. Why, suppose Williams could. Oh my God, Williams' contributions has been so minimal. I was actually just scrolling Twitter. One of the reporters said their theory is, he was brought in as that moonball guy, and Calvin Austin stepping up, and so is Koronic, and we're getting everyone else moved in, and it's kind of got phased out. They didn't realize these guys.
I want to see how good
that'd be. I want to see him in there. I want to see him getting more.
He's got to get reps.
Both guys.
He's got to learn his playbook. He's got to get his reps because, again, Mike, you're playing in January. I don't want to depend on Skoranek at the end of a game to try to beat Buffalo. That's all.
Yeah. We need to get him involved and F the other guys right now. I love their contributions, but we need him.
One other thing real quick about that Ohio State, Michigan, Mike. Five-star players, Ohio State has 14. Michigan has 1. 4-star players, Ohio State has 55. Michigan has 46. So do what you want with that. I think an upset is an upset, and they're always fun for me, especially when it's not my team.
Yeah.
Mike, go ahead and tell everybody about that.
The 2 Dumb Yinzers. Don't forget, we got the blog up there. Check it out. There's a new one up there today. A little quick and dirty one about the victory. Check it out, man. We got the merch store. Links to all of our stuff. We got the link to the Discord over there. So check it out. the2dumbYinzers.com.
All right, everybody. Let's get to the trivia question. The trivia is always about the team that the Steelers are playing that week. This week, it is going to be about the Cleveland Browns because that's what's next on our schedule. Guys, get ready. Mike, put your thinking cap on. Everybody on the board, everybody at home, here we go. This is a Cleveland Browns trivia question because it is who the Steelers play next. How many times have the new Browns made the playoffs?
Ooh.
How many times have the new Browns, I'm talking about the expansion Browns, they started in 99. The old Browns left in 96, went to Baltimore, but I want to know how many times the new Browns qualified for the playoffs. Take a minute to think that over, guys. We're live 5 days a week right here, Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, every day right here on YouTube. All right, Mike, question of the day. It's a Browns question. The question is, how many times have the new Browns made the playoffs? I'm talking about the team that was an expansion team in 99. Do you have any idea?
I'm going to go with 4.
4 times. Is that your final answer?
Final answer.
All right. Field is still saying 1 on the board. Brian Pasquale saying 3 on the board. All right, guys. Question of the day. How many times have the new Browns made the playoffs? Since 1999, how many times have the new Browns made the playoffs? Mike said 4.
Yeah.
Field still said 1. Brian says 3. Guys, the answer to that was they did it in 2002. Of course, the Steelers beat them 3 times that year.
Mm-hmm.
They did it in 2020, and they did it once again in 2023. 3 times the newest version of the Browns has qualified for the playoffs. So what is that, 25 years? 3 times in 25 years. There you go.
Yeah, I thought they had one more in that earlier part.
Ron, 0-0, 3-1. Yes, guys, 3. The answer is 3. They did it in 2002 when the Steelers beat them 3 times to go on to lose to Tennessee in the next round, if you guys remember that.
Yep.
The missed field goal, the fireworks, Dwayne Washington running into the kicker, them getting another chance, them winning the game, but that was the game after we beat the Browns for the third time that season back in 02, back in 2020, and then again in 23. Mike, anything if we start getting ready to wrap it up, my man?
No, just my God, let's just enjoy this victory, and then God, we got the Browns coming up, man. I like we said, man. This was like a total team victory. This is what you wanted to see out of them. Yeah, the defense gave up some big plays, gave up some points, but guess what? When the push came to shove, they stepped up big time, made the plays that you needed at the right time. That's a sign of a damn good team. When you can mess up and still recover from it. This team did not flinch in the face of adversity yesterday. Did not flinch in the shitty calls by the officials. They just kept playing. This is a focused team. I can't wait. I can't wait until Sunday.
One side note that I did forget to mention during the college, Mike, West Virginia did fire
Yeah.
their head
Yep.
coach.
Yeah, I was going to interject there, but I figured you'd remember.
Tomorrow, guys, Derpy will be in the house. Possibly Finch, possibly. We'll see what's going on. I do know that Derpy will be here, though, because we do have picks. I haven't looked at him yet. Derpy is telling me that he's won, but I cannot confirm nor deny at the moment. I will check that out this evening after the Monday Night Football game concludes. Again, tonight, the Browns at the Broncos. Tonight, 8:15. Check it out. See what our next opponent looks like. We've seen him in the snow. Let's check them out tonight and get ready. See what we have to do to beat the Browns this coming Sunday in Pittsburgh. I also do want to say thank you to everybody for coming and hanging out and checking us out today. We appreciate each and every one of you. Each and every one. We really, truly, honestly do. We wouldn't do it without you. I want to say thank you to everybody on the board. You guys always keep things interesting, and everybody at home. I also do want to say Mondays we're trying to get a lot of information out, guys. We come in after game day, Victory Monday especially. So I do apologize. We didn't leave anybody hanging. I have all your notes here. I have everything that you posted. Tomorrow, I promise we'll do a better job with interacting. I just Mondays are always the toughest because we want to get as much information out as possible. But I do thank everybody for hanging in there and hanging out with us today. It's really, really awesome, especially sharing Victory Mondays with everybody. Man, it just doesn't get much better than that, guys.
I'm sorry. Yeah, I forgot to do the derpy boom. I'm sorry.
Nice. Real nice, Mike.
I know. He's not here. I don't want
to drop the ball.
That's gimmick infringement. I don't want to step on his gimmick.
But we will be back tomorrow, same time, to talk about the Monday Night Football game that's going on tonight between the Browns and the Broncos in Denver. Also, Penguins ain't back at it till tomorrow. So it looks like, guys, for the most part, it's going to be Monday Night Football tonight. But come back tomorrow at our normal time. We'll be talking about that. We'll be talking about the game against the Bengals, and we'll be talking about the game against the Browns this coming week, getting ready to head into that game. Like, after this week, there's only going to be four weeks left after this Cleveland Brown game. Unbelievable.
And why do you got to bring us down, man? That's a sour note.
Yeah, it's sour. But thank you so much again, Mike. Anything else before we take off?
I got nothing, man. Great show, everyone. Love you guys.
Absolutely.
Thanks for coming in. Appreciate it, man.
For sure, everybody. You have a great day. Enjoy that game tonight. Again, keep an eye on these Browns. See what you think. Because again, this is who we play next. We'll talk all about that tomorrow. Be a lot more interaction tomorrow as Victory Monday concludes and we move into Victory Tuesday and get ready to move forward. Mike, anything else? Speak now, forever hold your peace, man.
I got nothing.
Likewise, guys, I want to say thank you to Jen, John, Field of Steel, One Man's Opinion, Ron, 007, who else? Kenneth, Roger, Corey.
I think we got everyone.
And anybody else I'm missing. If I did, I believe me. I apologize. Ron, I got you. John,
Field of Steel,
Roger, Phil. Yeah. So I do want to say thank you to everybody. I don't want to leave anybody out. Again, tomorrow, join us. We'll be back talking about the Browns game tonight. Steelers win over the Bengals. Steelers game coming up against the Browns. For Mike in the Steelers Central mobile studio, myself, the two dumb Yinzers. Everybody have a great day. Enjoy the game tonight, and we'll see you tomorrow. Have a good one, guys. Bye-bye.